Welcome to the Initiation Overview session. In this session, we'll discuss the initiation phase of the delivery method. We'll look at project preparation and how we can work with the project preparation checklist. We'll review an example of the initiation workshop, and we'll discuss team alignment as far as collaboration tools that will be used on the project. So let's go ahead and get started. When we think of the initiation phase, we'll start with some simple project preparation. And then in a workshop with the whole team, we'll try to identify the project vision, goals, personas, the business context, and even the high-level business processes. Now it can help to do a project kickoff, and that meeting is usually the first time that the whole team will be able to get together, including the project team, the stakeholders, and the business users. It helps to discuss this with the users to understand their needs and motivation, and to get everyone focused on the correct goals and bring everyone together so that they begin working as one team. It's also where the delivery method and the practice need to be aligned so that everyone knows how the team will be working together. And then as we do all of the work, we'll be documenting everything in what we call the vision document. And this will be updated and kept as a live document during the project because it will have key guidance for us to follow. It has the high-level plan and the goals. So overall, the initiation phase is attempting to get a high-level definition so that we can begin working as we get into the iteration development. And that work includes getting a high-level definition of the first set of user stories and knowing how the iterations are going to be planned for the time box that we're going to be using. So to make sure that all of these different tasks for the initiation workshop can be completed, what we should do is look at the project preparation checklist. These are the tasks executed in a project, and they have the purpose of preparing everything that's necessary for the first meeting with the team, such as handover of the deliverables from the ideation phase. There may be project context, budget information, the business case, or success metrics that would be useful for the team to know. We need to make sure that the team allocation plan has been created and that the initiation workshop is fully planned and that the team is scheduled to be there. We should be reviewing the project kickoff presentation and make sure that it gets validated with the project manager. And we want to make sure that things are verified as far as the infrastructure so that it will be ready and available when the project starts. And if we're using some sort of project management tool, it would be good for it to be bootstrapped with all of the relevant data. So guaranteeing the continuity and alignment between the ideation phase and the delivery phase is very important. So the initiation workshop is here to help facilitate all of that work. Now, here's an example of a one-week workshop for the initiation workshop. So during this week, we'll actually see that the team, the stakeholders, and the business all get to meet each other and begin working on their overall journey. So we need a high-level plan of how all of this is going to be achieved and help people get aligned so they know how they're going to be working together. Now, there are three main tracks in the agenda. There's a planning track, a business track, and a technical track. And there are certain sessions that are considered key sessions that we would need to be able to go ahead and follow. So if we begin looking at the project kickoff meeting, there are those types of things as far as planning is concerned. And then from there, we would look at making sure we can find the goals and the objectives, making sure that we can work on determining the high-level scope and all of the different timelines and milestones that might be important. We'd want to make sure we could get the assumptions and the risks identified, as well as an overall communication plan. So it's highly recommended to take the opportunity to ask the business sponsor to actively participate in this first meeting so that they can give a motivational talk on the importance of the project. Then there's a session on initial backlog and sizing. This will ensure that everyone is aligned from what has happened in the ideation phase and understands the budget and other types of things. They'll see that the existing time box was determined, so they'll have the idea of the high-level scope, any important assumptions and constraints that will be available. So this will establish the version 1.0 of the scope and become the basis for any comparisons or changes that need to occur. So during initiation, we'll be drilling down more on different iterations and try to rediscover and compare what we know now versus the initial sizing. So progress will have to be reported, so there will be daily scrums, and that will happen on the first of each of the days between days 2, 3, and 4. So at this point, we would have a good idea of the overall overview, and we would just need to be able to work on the iteration working model and some of the things like the definition of ready, the definition of done, and what the overall quality assurance flow is going to be. And then on the last day, we would actually begin working on iteration 1 planning. So we'd normally pick our top epics and begin focusing on the backbone of functionality and the main structure and flow of those epics. So we would focus on the core first and then go beyond that. In the afternoon during this week, there would be a wrap-up session to go ahead and make sure that everyone is aligned on the project vision that was discussed. Any business process diagrams created, the personas that might have been generated, as well as the user stories, mock-ups, and any architecture information. You could then validate all of the planning, review any potential risks, and look at what will be the next steps from that point on. So overall, this is a very intense week, and considering how critical it is to establish this high-level plan, we have a lot to do, and it's important for the preparation for this week to be done well so that we can get the most out of this week that we would hope. For projects that are larger than maybe a 12-week project, it may be recommended to have another week of an initiation workshop. So instead of a 1 week, potentially a 2-week initiation workshop that'll allow for more time to gather the type of information when the project is significantly larger. And that way the dev team can settle all of the different things that may be in their mind and focus on the analysis and solution that would be in those design activities. Now, we didn't really focus much on the business or the technical side, and we'll come back to those in some of the future sessions. So there's also going to be the establishment of some ground rules for healthy team collaboration. So the team needs to be able to become a delivery machine that cranks out the different types of code and deliverables that are required for each iteration. Now, when the teams are distributed, this can be a little bit difficult. So what we need to do there is ensure that all meetings are going to start and finish on time. And we'll focus on a particular goal and make sure that those meetings are efficient and productive. We'll also need to agree on the collaboration tools. So what types of e-meetings will be used as far as Skype or Hangouts or Slack, and what are the instant messaging and other types of tools that the teams are going to use. Also, if the team is going to do co-creation of documents, what type of document and knowledge co-creation can be used? Would that be Google Docs, SharePoint, or something else? And if we even go one step further to help the team collaborate even further, a nice to have might be an actual live video feed where distributed teams in different locations might be able to see each other during the day or occasionally to get the feeling of all being there together. So that's it for this session on the initiation overview. We looked at where the initiation fits in the overall timeline and the types of things that need to be done in an initiation workshop. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.